Okay, guys, now it's time to continue on with the next part of the project, which is the final form. There's going to be a few videos for this because the parts of this form are pretty complicated. So let's go ahead and make sure you've created a form. All right, we need 2 labels, a text box, and 3 buttons. Now, all these will be important really later, but what we want now is this item right here. Now, this item is a data grid view, and what that means and what that is, if you go over here, click on data grid view in your toolbox and just drag it over. It's going to ask you to put some stuff here. You just make sure that everything should be fine. Enable adding, editing, and deleting. Take this, make it the proper size. Okay. And then you don't even have to worry about changing its name. Data grid view 1 is fine. Actually, let's go ahead and change it to DGV feed. Okay. This is going to pull the feed from your social network. Again, you don't have to worry about these right now. Let's just get this working. Okay. Now, to make sure that this is working, make sure that the database you have inside your equivalent of this folder right here. So this is important. You want to make sure that the database that you have that's been copied into your project but is not inside the bin, which your bin debug right here, this version of test is a completely different version than this version. Or actually it's a copy of a copy, right? So you have your database that's on your desktop or wherever you saved it, and then you found it and made the data connection here and you copied it into your project. If you're going to make any changes to your project, it needs to be in this one right here that's in the project folder. Okay, so open it up, make sure username, email, fname, lname, pass, and post. Now, this might look different than the other videos. I had a few issues, so I had to recreate this entire thing. There might be a few names that are different, so please just pay close attention. Have username, email, fname, lname, pass, and post. Now you'll notice that there are no capital letters here. But what's important for us after logging in is the username and the post. So make sure there's something in the post. Okay. Once you have that set up, you got your data right here. But what we want is for the program to load all the posts that have been made, which there's just the one test, but we want it to load all of them as soon as it loads. So when this form comes up, form FRM feed, right, because it's our social network feed, and we'll have added these 2 lines of code, form feed equals new form feed, feed.show on the login. So if the login is successful, if the result counter is high enough to say, hey, these passwords match, go ahead and log in, then we want our feed to show. And as soon as it does, it's going to load and it's going to connect. So make sure you copy and paste the connection string information, just like everything else. Please check and make sure that the name of your string and your connection are the same here. I might have had to make a small change, so just pay attention, please. Next, first thing we want to do is create our command that pulls all the information from the database. So we're going to do string and then feed queue for feed query, and want to do select username and post, just a comma, from info where post is not null. Okay. This means on the information where a post is not empty. Now the reason you don't put post where post equals not null is because that'll be looking for an actual text that is actually spells out not null. This is what you want. Now next thing, we need to create an OLEDB command just like every other one, and this command we will call it feed load command. Okay. And this feed load command is going to be equal to a new OLEDB command. Feed load command dot connection is going to use the same connection we've been using for everything else. So for me, it's final project connection. Next, we want to do feed load command dot command text, which will be equal to our string, our feed queue, our feed query. All right, and all this seems pretty straightforward, but now here's where things get a little bit more problematic. So in order to fill our data grid view, we have to have a specific thing called a data adapter. A data adapter takes all the information that's returned from our query and sorts it out appropriately in a table. So you need to create an OLEDB data adapter, and we're going to name it feed data equals new OLEDB data adapter, and we're going to have that connected to the feed load command. All right, so it knows to run the feed load command text and put all that data inside our feed data data adapter. Next, we need to create what's called a data table. So data table is our new class, and a data adapter works with a data table to make everything nice and adjusted appropriately. There's not too much more to say. We're just going to call it data adapter, and we can call the data table, and we can call this the feed table equals new data table. Okay. Next, we have to tell the data adapter, which is feed data, do feed data dot fill. So it needs to put all of its information into the proper format, which is a data table. So we're going to put the feed table in there. Okay. Now, what you should probably think of this as is the data adapter pulls all the information, but it's raw and unsorted, and it needs the data table to know how to sort it out into a table. So it uses the fill command that's attached to the data adapter, and it just connects it to this information and puts it out nicely. Next, we're going to do data vid grew. So DVG or data grid view DGV feed dot data source is equal to our feed table. Okay. With any luck, this will go ahead and run properly in the first time. So let's go ahead and give it a test. Again, our login was successful. And there we go. Have our username and our post. Fantastic. And this will be just the next step of your project. So congratulations.